Welcome once again to Channel 18, and our third guest today is Robin Kelly, the town director of the cemeteries. And Robin, you have a little pamphlet there that you're going to explain to us, but in the meantime, maybe you could bring us up to date on what's going on in the cemetery business.
Well, this year I'm currently now a full-time employee for the first time. I've been with the town for 11 years. My office is in the Division of Highway and Maintenance, which is at 273 Queen Anne Road. It's on the way to the transfer station, which a lot of people know. So I'm there Monday through Friday. And if anyone has any questions, they can come down and see me there, or I can meet them out at the cemetery at any of their family lots if they have questions or concerns regarding any cemetery-related issues.
Well, that's very nice of you, yes. So what issues do people generally have?
Sometimes they want to know what the lot usage is. Their grandparents owned a lot. There's 4 spaces that are unused. Who can use it? How many people can go in? In each full-body burial space now, you can have 1 full-body burial in 1 cremation or 4 cremations, which is quite a bit of space if you have 4 open spaces. So
Really, you can bury the cremation in the cemetery lot now?
yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you had to have a special plot or a wall or something that you put
No,
the-
no. Cremated remains can either go in a traditional burial space, which is a ground burial space, or it can go either in a niche wall. Some people scatter ashes. Everyone has a different
Yes,
preference.
yeah.
Some people like to have them buried only because, or in a niche wall, so they can go and visit, just like you would a traditional burial.
Yeah, oh, that's a good
for
idea.
for the holidays. And
Yes, yeah. Well, what's in that little paper there that you have?
okay, well, on November 5th, the cemetery department, we work in conjunction with Barbara Ann on the Council on Aging. We'll be holding our 4th annual pre-planning seminar. In the pre-planning seminar, we talk about all the difference between funeral and burial arrangements, and we'd like to answer any questions that the public would have in regards to anything they want to talk about. I'll just read you a little bit from the brochure.
Okay.
We'll be speaking about everything from estate planning, legal wills, trust administration, personalizing your funeral services, to grieving, veterans benefits, and selecting your final resting place. The seminar is conducted by representatives from my department, the cemetery department, the Council on Aging, local elder law attorneys, social workers. We have several local funeral homes that are going to come and talk, monument dealers, florists, and of course, Will Remillard, our town veterans agent, will be talking about any benefits that any of our veterans who might be in the audience might have. Making the decisions about your end-of-life plans is just smart. Everyone knows that planning future health needs, living arrangements, or retirement makes those inevitable transitions easier and more comfortable. That's why pre-planning cemetery arrangements have become an important part of taking care of your own family. It's much easier to approach it rationally when you are carefully in considering what you are doing and you don't have an immediate need. When you have an immediate need, sometimes you make decisions, and sometimes you make some decisions that you kind of regret at a later date. So if you have a lot of time to plan it out and, talk it over with your family, then you kind of can come together and make decisions with, other members of your family. We'll have information on all the rules and regulations for all the Harwich cemeteries, all the monuments that you can do on our cemetery lots here in town, and placement of anything from plantings to flowers that people want to put on the graves at different times of the year. This year, we've always done a breakfast, like had a little thing, but this year we're going to have a little luncheon. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the room set up at 10 o'clock so people can come in and actually go around and maybe talk to some of the vendors or their speakers and ask them questions, because sometimes people don't like to ask questions in a public setting. And then we will then have them talk for about 10 minutes each, and they'll have a quick little break, and then we'll serve everyone lunch. And then at the end of the lunch, we'll have some more speakers talk, and then we'll have a little bit of question and answers for anyone in the public who might have some specific questions they want to ask.
Well, I think my family pre-planned
Right.
a long time ago, you know, and everybody just follows the same plan now.
Right. But a lot of people don't. I can't tell you how many times people will come to my office the day someone passes and they have to buy a cemetery lot. They got to find a funeral director. They
wow.
have to do all of that stuff, and that's a lot of decisions to make in one day. So it's much easier for the whole family. I give you a little pre-planning guide that I have at my office, and if anyone would like one, they can come down and pick one up at any time. And it just walks you through all the questions that a funeral home or anyone else would ask you at the to make your decisions at the end. So do you want a traditional burial, which is a ground burial, versus a cremation burial? Do you want to, you know, stay here in Harwich and be buried, or were you originally from a different, you know, maybe Worcester area and you want to go back to your family lot? These are questions that you think your kids might know, but maybe they don't. So you probably want to get all that information written down, and that way there won't be any questions at that time.
Right.
It just makes it easier on either the surviving spouse or on the children. We're also probably going to have somebody, and I like to always do a little bit of a family services as part of our seminar. And this year we're trying to get a little program together, almost like a spousal program. So if your spouse has passed away in the last year or so, or even longer, and you just want to reach out to somebody maybe with similar issues that you might have, you might just be lonely, or you might want to get involved in another group, what programs are available for maybe somebody who's in that a new situation that they're just, sometimes, you know, people have been together their whole lives, and all of a sudden
That's right.
they're alone, and you just want to make sure they have support of the community, and if there's anything that we can help them with, we'll be more than happy to.
Well, I kind of fall a little bit into that, but, you know, my wife is buried elsewhere, and I'm going to go elsewhere too.
Yeah.
So the kids all know that.
Right.
So I'm all set.
Oh, well, that's good. So it's nice that
All I got to do is die.
Well, everyone will end up dying at some point.
That's true.
And so it's something that everyone will have to think about at some point in their lives. So hopefully you can just make it a little bit easier on the ones that are left behind. You don't want to, it's harder on some people than others, you know. So.
Well, you never know where you're going to die.
No, you don't.
You know, and that's an issue.
Yeah, we've had a lot of kids or young adults who have died, you know, heart attacks or car accidents, and it's very difficult even for young families. You know, they never thought that they would have to bury a 18-year-old child.
No.
I mean, no one expects their child to get in a car accident and die before them. So even it's, you know, as much as people think that pre-planning is mostly for people who are in their later years of life, it's a good thing for almost everyone, because it's devastating when it's all of a sudden a sudden death, and it's kind of nice to have a lot of stuff pre-planned and laid out. So hopefully a lot of people will attend. Last year we were at capacity.
Oh, that was good.
We are asking that if you are thinking about attending, I know that Barbara Ann will be putting something in her flyer that will be going out. If you could send how many people you would like to have attend, so that way we can save enough space and make sure that we have enough tables and, of course, enough food for lunch.
Well, it's a great idea, and I'm glad that you've come up with it.
Well, thank you.
And the people who go should learn a lot.
Last year we got a lot of positive feedback from a lot of people. We had a couple people come that spouses were in hospice, and we helped them go through and pick all their final arrangements. And it can be very rewarding for us knowing that we're helping them so that they don't have to make those decisions.
And finally, no, they haven't already made.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. So, is that about it?
It is. So hopefully we will have a lot of people come and attend. So again, it's November the 5th. It's going to be 10 o'clock here in the Harwich Community Center in the multipurpose room.
Now, what day of the week is that?
I believe that's a Thursday.
A Thursday.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we can be here. All right.
And I'm sure last year, Jamie and Channel 18, they videotaped it. So if you can't attend, what we usually did, and we did last year, is we videotaped all of the speakers, and then we had the CD available for people to take home.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
whether if they weren't healthy enough to travel, or if they just couldn't make it because they were working or something, then they were able to view it. And I'm sure she's going to run it on Channel 18 as well, probably after.
Well, that's very good.
Okay.
So, well, thanks, Jamie, for that.
Oh, yeah.
And we thank you for bringing us up to date once again.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure.